we are now continuing our conversation about the order of time. What interests me also is that what was the idea, the thing, the problem, or the reason that you started to develop the website The Order of Time? How did you come to that idea to explain people what's so important with time?
Okay. Well, I'm a psychologist originally, and I've been doing psychotherapy with people, and I've stopped with that, and that had a reason. Concerning time, people are conditioned to a system, and I found a lot of things wrong with the system. And many people know this and confirm this. We have a rotten system. I grew up in the 60s, and there was the Vietnam War, and I decided then to study psychology because I found everybody crazy. Christianity is crazy. What can we do about it? So as a psychologist, I became aware that it is all one system of conditioning. It is a time system. So it is a certain order of time. And later on I started the website because I found out that the natural order of time is systematically denied, repressed, blocked,
so
manipulated.
that's what we discussed before. Since
we've discussed this
since
before.
the ages, people together with politics, they wanted to have a simple calendar.
People. Yes. Let me summarize that what we spoke of previously.
Yes.
People started out with a natural calendar.
Yes.
And our calendar is originally a lunar calendar, and the Roman Empire started out as a pretty natural people relating to nature through the lunar calendar. But it was managed by priests who studied the position of the moon, and the common people didn't exactly know when the worship was, so they were very dependent upon what the authorities said it was. So gradually they emancipated, wanted to have control over that order of time, so they could have meetings on an agenda.
Who wanted to have control?
The common people wanted to, they're emancipated. So they wanted to have their own sense of their agendas. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to count with that order. So then we can meet, and then we have a religious ceremony or a holy day. But it was too arbitrary, and this arbitrariness was overcome by this emancipation process. But then the people realized that nature is not that regular. The moon has its own rhythm, which cuts right through the solar days. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you have 6 days in a week, and sometimes you have 8 days in a week,
yes.
And sometimes it's 7.
Yes.
Because you constantly have to leap the solar day to the lunar order.
Yes.
So, and that was complicated for the people because they had nothing in print at that time, and so they got emancipated. They became aware of what the complication of nature is, and that complication was too difficult for them, so they simplified it.
Yes. Who did the simplification? It was that in a
people themselves. People themselves wanted to have it more simple.
Yes. Okay.
And the politicians, they answered to that.
Okay.
Even the Pope later on answered to that. People want to have it simple.
Yeah.
Because they don't read tables.
Yes.
And they don't want to be dependent on the authority of the priest. He says, and now you come to the temple, and now you don't. And that was not to their liking either. So that was a fundamental problem. Nature is difficult, and still it is difficult for humanity to relate to nature.
Yeah, but according to a human being, which is in fact a product of nature.
Yes. Yeah.
We want to relate to nature, and we want to live with nature.
Yeah.
So it's really strange.
Yeah.
That this happened.
Yeah, this is a fundamental conflict of culture.
Yes.
We call it neurotic culture because there are two authorities. There's the authority of the simplified concept of time, which we call standard time, which is too linear. We don't leave the day, we don't leave the week. This is not natural.
No.
In nature, there's not such a thing as a 7 days week.
That's right.
Not from the moon. And if we apply the order of the moon to the solar calendar, it also should be leaped to fit into the month, but the week doesn't fit into the month. So we have a conflict within a culture of an order that is not natural anymore. Well, indeed, as you say, we are natural beings. So is culture good? Is culture bad? We cultured to be more civilized. We became more civilized, but it became less natural.
Yes.
So civilization is being less natural.
Yes.
So this gave a tremendous conflict. The French Revolution was about being more natural, equal brothers relating to nature. So the French Revolution started out with another calendar because we would be equal with nature again. But that attempt failed. So the revolution failed, and then we got democracy as a kind of let's talk it over system. But the problem was not resolved. The problem continued.
Yeah, you can say that during in the past there was this problem leaving natural order, nature. But people got more civilized, they learned more, but that problem stayed. Nature was not appreciated anymore, or we didn't get the idea that we had to go back to nature to solve problems. So we continued leaving nature. Natural order. So now we are in the 20th century, and not really. Nobody is
21st century.
Nobody is thinking that leaving nature is causing many problems.
Yeah, and that's why I made a website, just to make people aware that first of all we have an order of time.
Yes.
But also that there is a complication about this order of time. It is natural, like the dates are natural, but it's also not natural, like the weeks, which are not leaped.
Yes.
Like the days, the length of the day, we don't leap either, but there is no such thing as a 24-hour day.
Yes.
Days are a little bit longer, a bit shorter, because we have a dynamic globe swinging to the sun, but we cut it all away, we throw away the table
to make it easy,
and then we have strict scientific schools saying and it has to be science, it has to be science, it has to be science, but we have thrown away the scientific tables. So it is even the drive to be science is neurotic.
It's all built then on illusion.
Not matching with nature is the foundation of illusion. That's why all the religions, like Islam, have prayer times. Christ says, "Do it on earth as in heaven." Krishna says, "I am the sun," and worship the moon god and the sun god because I am the godhead beyond it of the stars. So all these religions are the proto-science, the original, the old ways to tell people how to relate to nature. Because we constantly have difficulties being in order with nature. And that's why the site is called the order of time. Because nature, especially relating to time, is a conflict for human beings. And I stress the site also as a platform for an alternative consciousness of time.
But you probably yourself had a problem with time.
Oh yeah,
in
sure.
Your personal life.
Of course. It was born from my personal experiences.
Yes.
I started out as a young man, and I wanted to be a psychologist, a psychotherapist. I wanted to help people, and I confided in the system of the culture. Well, I had some apprehensions already because of the Vietnam War, but I started out as a psychologist.
But you didn't think then that the Vietnam War would be a problem because of wrong time handling.
No, I didn't think that in the beginning. You're not aware of it, but we knew from the 60s. So we had those flower power, back to nature. Then you're a better person. Meditate and be a vegetarian and all those things. And I understood it vaguely in the beginning. Being natural, hang loose a bit, and don't be too strict, and not too much order. The word order was a dirty word.
Yeah.
So in the beginning you're not aware of that, and you say, oh, the system is bad, it's Vietnam, and that it's all bourgeois civil attachments and narrow-minded people, paranoid about everything that would threaten their status quo, and men be liberal, and the 60s. Huh?
Yes.
So, but that was not quite aware. The 60s, we were not quite aware what the good and the bad of the concept of order would be. Natural order is good, cultural order is bad. No, not quite. Natural order is good, cultural order is bad. Also not. It is a complex.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So gradually I learned that as a psychologist that we are all conditioned by an order of time. You have these habits, and you have a neurosis, and if a psychologist talks to someone with a neurosis, anxieties and phobias and compulsions and all kinds of trouble, inferiority complex, identity troubles, etc., marital problems, you name it.
And you think that's all related to the misconcept of dealing with time?
Yes, sure. The entirety of the psychological complex can be expressed as an instability of time awareness. If we are stable in our time awareness, then there is constancy of self relating to time. And when you start meditating, you turn away from time.
Yeah.
But not to become an unstable person.
No.
You try to be stable with time.
Yes.
So the purpose of meditation and yoga is to have stability of your time awareness.
Yes.
Now, psychological time is defined as the instability of time awareness. You're not quite aware of, sometimes it goes fast, sometimes it goes slow. It depends. When you have an intense positive experience, you easily forget time. When something is hurting, and then time can weigh very heavy, and then every second takes a long time. So, depending upon your joy and your suffering, you experience time dilation or time differently. And this instability of time is in fact a problem.
Yes, it is.
Because you want to have a clear grip on reality, which is also continuing, which we call the soul, which we call the positive self, and you don't want to have a different opinion or a different mood all the time because of the psychological hang-up. The instability is what you hate. You want to be the same person all the time. That is connected to the concept of identity. But what is that same person? It is not what you do. It is not the glasses you wear or the clothes you have. What is this person inside, and what is this soul all about? So this concept of time is very closely associated with what the soul is, how to be happy, how to get rid of instability, how to be an integrity, a constant self, which is still dynamic and vital. Because a constant self shouldn't be a fixed, rigid person. No, it should be a vital, stable person. You can do whatever you want, but you are constant. You are constant aware. It's not that you flip out regularly because you didn't have your day again, or because you whatever.
But this instability of people, I think, is not completely depending only on the right use of time. I think there are more things to it, and the person himself has to think about. And okay, but maybe that's too far.
No, I understand. Time refers to the concept of truth. It's a value, a standard value. Don't lie to each other. And standard time is a kind of lie about the situation in nature. We manipulate time for the money, and this is our life a lie.
You say,
and that affects our consciousness. But it is just one of the basic fundamental values connected to the soul. And the soul is not just about truth; it's also about non-violence, which is also a burden to the consciousness. The soul is also about possessing and acquiring. Are we of penance? Are we willing to give it up, the profit motive, at least once a week? This is also of importance. Or are we stealing from each other, cheating each other? Are we faithful in relationships? That's the fourth value. Are we in control with our sexuality? Do we often not, because love seems to be overruling everything, but still it is important that you respect each other and don't treat each other as a sex object. And so this is also a complex of guilt and a complex of desire and for freedom, and what is the order of that and how to get a grip on that. So this is also implied in the order of, comprised in the order of time. Order is that's why I call it an alternative time consciousness. Because consciousness is not just time dependent, it's also out of time with the values of the soul. So that's why the concept of order refers not just to the time, but it's called the order of time because time is a fundamental value, a fundamental element of nature. If you cut out the time, there's no life. If you Jesus said, I'm the truth, the life, and the gate. And if you cut out the time, you cut out the life, and you cut out Jesus. Jesus is the time. Or he's crucified on that concept of order of time. It is a burden, the order of time, but it's also a form of liberation.
Yes, it is.
An opportunity for a new life. It's so fundamental. It's impossible to think about anything, for instance, about non-violence, without seeing the relationship to the concept of truth. If you're truthful, you're in fact non-violent. If you're non-violent, you can be truthful. So truthful we are with saying and seeing things as they are. Then we are non-illusion. Then there's nothing between the inside person and the outside reality. You see things as they are. 12 o'clock is 12 o'clock. And the time is just a very good example of proving how much we fell into lying about ulterior motives, which is the other value of, for instance, stealing or not being honest about the money with each other. And then, so it's all interconnected. But time is a fundamental value.
But I understand, and it is a very complex subject, let's say. Everything concerning with time, what belongs to it. So to have the natural time installed, get in order again, you have to start somewhere. And how do we get it reinstalled, natural time? What is the source? Who can tell what is natural time and how to get that back in the life of a person? So what I understand is that what I saw on the internet is the true calendar of time. Full calendar of time. Full calendar of order.
See, the word order is difficult. You easily forget the word order. Full calendar of order. But people have a hang-up with order, because order reminds them of prison and of restrictions and of the bad system. That tells you, now you do this, now you do that. No, we are free, we want to make our own time. We set our own calendar and our own agendas. So this is...
but it's quite complex, and again, where should we start? Where shall we start? I mean, how do we get this natural order back in a person's life? Because that's very important. I understand. But since it's so complex, how did you know where to start, and what was the most important?
Very good question. It gradually grew, of course. In the beginning, I started out with just the notion. In my meditations, I was disturbed that the clock wouldn't follow the sun. So I had two concepts of time, and why was that? And that was my first impulse, just annoyance. I slowly realized that rebellion against societal order has to do with the order of time of society. Because society denies the natural order. And the French Revolution tried to return to that natural order, but it failed. So somehow that got to me. So at first I just started out to settle the clock. But gradually it became more and more than just...
What is settle the clock?
Settle the clock to the sun. Because that's not as easy as you think. If you put a clock to the sun, a few weeks later, it can be off with minutes, 10, 20 minutes. And that's
20 minutes difference with the standard time on the clock.
With the sundial. You have standard time, which is the normal clock, but it's a dead rhythm. It's a linear time. It's called linear. It's time projected as an arrow, but where do you start measuring? You don't start measuring at the middle of the day. You start measuring at the mean. Days are not 24 hours. Days are 24 hours plus 15 seconds, minus 15 seconds. And in this plus and minus 15 seconds, this adds up to 60 minutes, plus or minus. So you can be off with half an hour in a few months. The time differs from a half an hour. Just fixing, if you fix the clock on the sundial. So the clock itself is wrong. Because it doesn't follow the dynamics of the sun. It is not natural anymore. And this you feel. Some people say, what's the difference? It's just half an hour, who cares? But in your genes, you are programmed to see the daylight and to tune yourselves to that. That is an automatic mechanism built into the genes. And the culture is not just deviating half an hour, because that was in the old days mean time. That was ever since the Middle Ages we mechanized. And in the beginning we even didn't know that the clock was deviating from nature. We only later realized that in the 16th century or something. We found out that it was something like the equation of time, that the length of days varies because of the non-circular path of the sun, of the Earth around the sun, and because of the tilt of the axis of the Earth. That together gives the equation of time, making days not as long, and with days adding up to a difference of a half an hour just on mean time. But we don't have just mean time. We also have zone time and summertime, and this together is a threefold complication, which adds up to almost 2 hours, depending on where you are, and depending how big the time zone is. America, for instance, has neat time zones, neat strips of time, but the rest of the world is messy. Europe has a time zone of covering 3 time zones. India covers east to west 2 time zones. China almost 5, or as good as 5. So, and they make it one time, also Beijing time, all the same time. So people have been very disturbed because of the culture. The culture broke the link between time and place.
Yeah.
And your brain is nothing but comparing time and place all the time. How late is it? Where am I? How late is it? Where am I? This is defining your mental health. If you disturb the awareness of time relating to place, you can feel that immediately. It's an awkward feeling, like being time shifted. We think of UFOs and many those things, but in reality, the entire culture is not tuned to the planet. It's we are out of sync with the planet, out of harmony, and this is a very fundamental conflict in culture, which is very debilitating. We get exhausted and we lose our synergy. We can't relate to each other anymore.
You are very sensitive to that. Problem. One gets, but I don't think that people are very aware of that problem, which they have a kind of illness, but they are not aware of it. But you are. But you're very sensitive to it, and that's also the reason why you started to try to repair that.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a psychologist anymore. I'm a yogi. I started meditating as a psychologist. I advise people do breathing exercises, return to your original self, be natural, don't follow too much what others say, etc. But you need that stability, and that stability you find in meditation. And in meditation, you constantly refer to the original values of the soul, truthfulness and violence and penance and purity. Those things are of the soul, and the culture constantly tempts you into another state of mind, to have a life for Pete's sake, and to be a bit comfortable with eating meat, which is a violent strategy, destroying the planet almost these days. Do it for the money. Everybody does it, and you should feel guilty if you don't do it for the money, because if you live for God as a volunteer, you're also a bad person. This is a whole brainwashing complex, which we call the system.
We have brought that on ourselves, because we have left the natural order again. But since we left that idea such a long time ago, and we didn't repair it, and we continued, but by even make more mistakes concerning natural time and so on and so on. So it's a very strong conditioning, I think.
Yeah, nature is strong conditioning, and culture wants to take it over. It's what you call original sin. And nature is the authority of the Father. Father Time, Mother Nature. We are the children of Father Time and Mother Nature. But the culture behaves like an Oedipus, like a jealous son who wants to take it over from the Father. No, natural time, I know it better. We do it easier, we do it more comfortable, more effective, it gives more money, it is easier, it's better. But it is an Oedipus complex. You kill the Father Time, and you want to marry Mother Nature, very manipulative. But you grow blind, like Oedipus did. You grow blind, not seeing anymore what you are doing. That we are killing Mother Nature, and that we have killed Father Time. We have to return to Mother Nature and to Father Time, and be neat and innocent children again.
Yes.
So that is the purpose of the Order of Time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. It was a pleasure.